Before I start this episode, September 28th, put it on your calendar. I booked a venue for the first time in my life. I booked the Haha Comedy Club in North Hollywood. It's a place I did the first 5 minutes of comedy ever. I was such a bitch, dude. I think Gary has a photo. Maybe I'll find it. I booked the place for my birthday to do a birthday show. I want to film this show. I might want to film a piece of content even around the show. So if you're in LA or if you are wherever and you wanted to come visit LA or visit me ever, September 28th. What day? September 28th? September 28th. If you pursue the JFK story and you believe the FBI CIA did this, you immediately look at Osama bin Laden and you want to apologize to his mother.
Grandma Naked Studios, 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 Grandma Naked Studios,
Grandma Naked Studios. It's another one, dog. We're good. Levels up. Audio's up. Camera's up. It's been a minute. But your boy still got it.
It's been a
Welcome back. Time. I don't know when I'm posting this, so I'm not going to celebrate any kind of day. Let's see. Jump right into it, right?
I think we should.
Grandma Naked Studios, jump right into it. Most pressing. What do we... but the submarine thing is on its last legs of existence in the media world. I keep hearing that the submarine thing is like a... Everyone who's wealthy is giving this conspiracy. And I'm like, who's going to know better why this will go down than like a person who can afford the ticket, right?
Yeah.
So the most common thing I'm hearing is that someone that wealthy could have gotten into a situation where they need to kind of disappear off the face of the planet. And this is one way of them doing it, like kind of faking their death.
Oh my God, here we go.
But I'm like, you got whole wouldn't you take the whole family on a submarine? Now they got to find the magic school bus so they could find. Now they got to find a vessel big enough to kill their whole family.
But why? I don't understand. Why would why fake their death?
Think of the shit that you get into as a billionaire. Epstein, like his life or whatever was happening there wasn't fathomable.
No, for sure.
But now we've learned like what the life of a billionaire means. How just mediocre living is just painful. Apparently, you need to start having sex with children or something. I don't know. It's like these people just can't live a life.
Yeah.
And maybe when you're that wealthy, you need to suffer the cost of that lifestyle. You need to tolerate how removed you are from the normal man's life. And you need to stop seeking thrills. Because I guess the thrills end when you're that wealthy. When you can buy $250,000 tickets to go see the Titanic.
Yeah, that's on.
You are chasing a thrill. You're so wealthy, you're not getting those natural highs anymore. Yeah. What I love is how involved James Cameron is.
Oh, well, because he's been down there and he's done, yeah.
But it's like, bro, you're kind of responsible. Because he doesn't shut up about going to see the Titanic 33 times to make his movie. How many? 33 times. James Cameron, 33 times. And when? More than a decade ago. You'd think the technology was up for it, right?
Yeah.
Right? James Cameron, who doesn't shut up about going 33 times. And now he's acting like a researcher. It's like you want to study Kim Kardashian's success and like Bill Maher brings out like fucking Ray J in a suit as a moderator. No, it's like you have no involvement. You did this, but like, wait, why are you commenting on this?
Yeah.
People feel comfortable with this mission because you sexualized it. You made it so like sexy.
No, for sure. I mean, I guess if you were to ask him if he would go now, I don't think he would go down now.
Right.
Right. Yeah. I think it's funny, and I can see how the
because when you start realizing things like Epstein was real, or that 9/11, or it started with JFK. You do JFK, and then when you get to JFK, you're like, Osama bin Laden was an innocent man. No, not exactly, but like you. This guy was having falafel one day, and we decided you are going to be the face of terror. If you pursue the JFK story and you believe the FBI, CIA did this, you immediately look at Osama bin Laden and you want to apologize to his mother.
No, listen, man. I'm not saying that we have to.
You're not saying anything, and I'm not saying anything.
I'm just saying.
This is the episode that's just going to end Graham Naked Studios as an entity. So, you said something that really fired me up, and I think it was about Latino getting hired, Latinos getting hired, Latino representation. Yeah. I don't want to hear the word representation. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you're brown or black, since we've been in college, like some industries, like I'm not saying all, but like entertainment for sure. Mm-hmm. Even getting into college, like I think just because my last name was Moya, I had dick grades. And I think literally because my last name was Moya and I was categorized as Hispanic, like I got into New Jersey City University, a shit university. That's how bad the grades were.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear that song. Because now you have things like, shit is so woke, like people are mad that James Franco is going to play Fidel Castro, and so apparently when is this coming out? Because I feel like
but I feel like it is, no, listen.
James Franco looks more like Fidel Castro than anyone on this planet since Fidel Castro.
So in that respect, right, I understand where you're coming from. You're like, well, he looks like him.
And
so
he's talented.
So if he could have an accent, then let him do it, right? Like you could be like, oh, well, this guy played fucking Tony Montana, and he was supposed to be Cuban.
Imagine caring about who plays Fidel Castro, but like a year ago, we're 300 miles from that beach, and a year ago they were like dragging people through the streets. Everyone in Cuba apparently had a VPN.
Yeah.
I thought only people who like watch Joe Rogan's podcast knew about VPNs. No, all of Cuba got wise to VPNs. So you'd have Instagram stories of slaughters or people just having
yeah. But no, listen, man. I think the bigger conversation is that you don't have to go through the white options for that. For specific roles, you don't have to go through the opposite options.
Also, part of me doesn't feel like they went through options. I feel like maybe someone like Franco pursued this project.
I mean, yeah,
Franco's face looks. Franco looks like Fidel. The thing is, though, he's gonna do a shitty Spanish accent.
Yeah,
but I mean, who doesn't want to watch Scarface, right?
But I think that also made people believe that that's how Cubans talk. And
how about this?
For the most part, I feel like Cubans took that on.
You know what movie I just learned about? Like maybe a year or two ago. Rain Man.
Oh yeah.
What if we actually needed an autistic person?
You brought that up the other night.
Yeah, like no, seriously. What if we really it was so woke? You really needed an autistic person to play that role, and you couldn't see Dustin Hoffman short circuit for this because we wouldn't. Didn't he win an Oscar for?
Yeah, I think he won an Oscar for everything. I think he killed it for that. It's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? You have guidelines in place now that will keep people from getting Oscars from being the right Momo, not the word. But you get where I'm going with it.
Who says Momo?
I wish I had more to talk about for the Cam and Mace show. I don't know what that Cam and Mace show is, but apparently they have a sports podcast. It's amazing. To see Cameron with veneers in a suit.
Yeah.
And what I love that they were making fun of. Could you pull up the story for me? What did Jordan Poole give Ice Spice 500K? How did that happen?
No, there were people talking about it at the game last night too. Basically, that I think it was something that he went on a date with Ice Spice, and it was apparently a $500,000 date. As to like what they did,
that actually makes sense based on the context of the clip. I'll post a clip for the video.
She don't give a fuck. She from the Bronx, bro. Fordham Road. Have you been to Fordham Road? Jordan, next time you go to New York, go around Fordham Road, Concourse, High Bridge, South Bronx. You gonna see what you spent $500,000 on and be like, yo, I was wild.
You was wild. You could have got a piece of.
Yeah.
Shit, there's rumors of him spending $500,000 a day with rapper Ice Spice.
Yeah, but he got it. But he got it.
He
like
could do that.
he knew that headline was going to come out, and he loves that headline.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? These kids want to have some. These kids are working their asses off, and poor Jordan Poole got fucking knocked out. You know what? They're making fun of like a girl from the Bronx. All she needs is pizza. You know what she needs? She might need pizza and some Chinese slippers. And a toothbrush to comb her baby hairs across her forehead, but she also wants a guy who can fight. And poor Jordan Poole got his block knocked off on national, pretty much national, global.
It became
not national television, global television because it was on TikTok.
It became
global.
It was a private matter, but yes, it became a global.
That shit was as global as Andrew Tate's bald spot. I'm telling you, man, everyone saw it, and that's one thing that a girl from the Bronx does not want to really deal with.
Well, you want to know
a guy who not only do you know he's been knocked the fuck out, but you can just like replay it
and just see it.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not wrong. I remember my childhood crush. It was a Puerto Rican girl with broad shoulders named Vanessa Ramos, and I got bullied and I got pushed around once by this guy with an egg-shaped head. I forget his name. 7th, 8th grade. And from that day forward, I was just a guy who played freeze tag with her. Okay?
Yeah, because you got pushed around.
So let me tell you from experience, Jordan Poole, tag. You're not it.
Well, you want to hear what reportedly he spent on her?
So
he bought her expensive clothes from Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and others.
Fair.
And also allegedly got her a Maybach truck that's apparently like $171,000.
Okay. I would bet my money Ice Spice doesn't have a driver's license. I would also not buy clothing. I would buy clothing like if you're balling like that, right? And you want to get a starter pack because you got a chick.
Yeah.
You get clothing for a woman who can't really buy her own gear. Ice Spice is becoming like a fashion icon.
That's what she could get all that
She's
stuff.
getting crazy shit. She's really, I mean, whether you like how she wears herself or not, she's becoming a whole thing.
No.
Fashion, like in fashion.
And
so clothing is absolute donation.
For her, yeah.
My man is running a romantic nonprofit, getting the wrong things for the wrong lady. She is cute as a button. Ice Spice can get it. I don't get the hate. I get the hate for a song that was repeated so aggressively that it became a fever dream for half of Northeast America. That makes sense to me. But she's lovely, and Shorty got the cheeks. Like, I'm gonna keep it 47,000 with you.
And honestly, shout out. She's half Dominican.
She's not Dominican.
She's half Dominican.
She's not Dominican.
She says it.
Yeah, but anybody could say they're Dominican. Bro, if you have a curly sideburn, you can say you're Dominican.
She's half black and half Dominican.
Okay. Look, I like want her to be, but you hear her speak, and I'm like, wouldn't you reference something? Wouldn't this have a green banana one day?
Her dad is African American, while her mother is Dominican.
Beautiful. I did not know that because you hear her speak, and I don't think she has a first language yet. But I mean, I love Indians. You know, they're.
I mean, you love Indian food too. I mean, I'm not the biggest.
I fuck with Indian food like crazy.
Bread.
My girl does it. I wait for her to leave town before I start getting Indian food.
I fucking love pita bread.
It does have a smell to it. I get it. If you're having sex, Indian isn't the choice. You feel me? That's something I probably have to teach you about because you would probably get yourself mac and cheese before a sex date.
I mean, I'm trying to think. Like, have I? I probably have.
Yeah, you don't go heavy dairy before sex.
I mean,
you have like bone broth if you know what I mean. Yo, and especially at our age, we're in our 30s now, so it's like I'd be like, if I know, like, I want to, give Alex the work.
Yeah,
I'm eating light. Nice. Like, sir, you want to make it a combo? It's like, absolutely
not. Sir, you want to make it a combo? Absolutely not.
Yeah. I caught up with a friend recently, an actor, and people are on strike, right? I guess so they're getting creative and stuff. She tells me she's queer adjacent. It's like a thing I've never heard her say. She's like, "Oh, I'm realizing that I am queer adjacent," and I can sympathize with the needs of a rebrand or something. But I'm like, if you're queer adjacent, like Alex's pussy right now. You know? Murder the most melons, lasagna, Medellin. Dude. I don't think we talked about, I just came back from a wedding in Colombia. It's probably because I'm just recovering now from the dopamine dump. I'm sure you can imagine what kind of stuff happens there. Farm to table at a discount. And Colombia is one of the best destinations. Because I've left this country a couple times. It's hype a lot of times. The food doesn't really hold up, or unless you do Italy and a few other destinations. But Colombia is where I felt the money change. Because you go to Cuba, they figured out the tourism money right away, and you were fucked. I love becoming like autistic and just trying to calculate every sort of transaction that's happening. And I'm like, you just paid $8.50 for that bracelet. You got played. But that's just fun of it for us. And they did a wedding right. Which, by the way, these are two people that got married. These are two people that I knew separately in high school who ended up hooking up late in their 20s or something like that. And so it was a reunion. It was a high school reunion we never got, because who the fuck is doing that anymore? But Medellin is the fucking shit. And I'm going to be that friend that checks in with his friends all across the country. And if I sniff out that anyone has any plans to go to Medellin, I'm fucking piggybacking on it. There's no beach, but I don't give a fuck about a beach much. As long as the pool situation is elegant, tasteful. Oh, great, man. Food was off the hook. But I gotta be honest, like, I've had Colombian food in New Jersey better than Medellin. But that's the same thing with Cuba. It's like, yeah, the U.S. is just amazing. Like, we're just the best. I thought it was a thing with only communist countries. Like, no, only things from communist countries are better here in the U.S. Culinary is what I'm talking about, really. No, it's like everywhere. I don't gotta leave this country much. And I don't plan to for the rest of my life, because they haven't even made airplanes. God forbid I'm obese. God forbid I'm Lizzo, who should be just fearing litigation right now, because Lizzo should be sweating for different reasons than just her body mass. I don't know if you heard. I was getting to that Lizzo couldn't fit on a plane and blah, blah. Because those seats are... Next! So apparently Lizzo's getting sued by a bunch of dancers because they're claiming that she was abusive and that she was kind of socially pushy in the kind of a gauche, obnoxious, not appropriate kind of way, kind of in a way that you can sue for. One of the stories that came out was that she was trying to force her dancers to eat. They went out to a strip club overseas somewhere. She was trying to force her dancers to eat, the way they phrased it, a banana that was protruding out of a stripper's vagina. So I'm not even blown away, because I've heard about, and I think it was an old Joey Diaz story in a strip club in North Bergen, and they call it frozen banana night, and they would freeze a banana, a woman would use it as a dildo, and then you'd get potassium and oral gonorrhea. But it's like, I've heard this shit before. Disgusting. But it's like, she outwoked herself, became empress of these people who were already pursuing victimhood. And now, these are accounts of people who like went with the flow, and after the fact they're like, we can get her for this, right? Because she's not the Yas queen we intended. And they got her. Poor Lizzo, dude. All right, Pizzle. You know? I hope for the best. Ricky called out today. You would never think, right? Because he's a production kind of guy, right? Because I even made a joke that he's got back shots with his lady on the calendar, because I can't even get him to play ball with us unless it's on the calendar, apparently days out. He called out today. I get it. It's work. It's work. It's what it is. It's work. You know, I think he got on a production call today, and then he realized more was needed from him than even he expected. You know, you ever get on a work call and people remind you have a job? Dude, this has happened to me so many times, where you're like coasting, right? It's an easy season, right? Maybe it's a light fiscal quarter, or you have excuses why the department doesn't really have to be pushing. You know, people above you fucked up, and you're just like, I mean, if we. So, and I know those phone calls, and you get that phone call, and you got the laptop open because you're taking notes, and you're compiling this shit that you realize you're like, oh, you look at your deadlines, and you look at it, and you're like, oh, I'm drowning. I'm drowning. And I think that's what happened to him, because I'm like, I was trying to even figure out ways to. I was like, you come to my place 1 hour in and out. He's like, nah, bro. I'm like, ah. The reason it's impactful, it's an impactful call out. No call, no show. His pay will get docked. He will be impacted fiscally because I believe in, consequences and learning. But the reason I wanted him by is because I wanted to announce something. I wanted to announce that one of our closest friends gonna have a baby. Billy's gonna have a baby. So I missed out on like hand-me-downs from Gary. That's like the first thing that hit me, and I was like, congrats, dude. I'm gonna dive deeper with Ricky because who the fuck you might not even know Billy. Billy's my first guest on Grandma Naked Studios. I have 1 million episodes with him. Some of the best episodes with him. How long have I known you really though?
You knew me. You knew young, early 20s me. Different me.
I knew you before 20.
But we didn't really cultivate a bond until Rutgers.
Cultivate.
And then we harvested a bond.
And now I'm trying to diminish a bond. But it was.
You know what hurts me? It hurts me that when we meet new people, you still say, "Oh, this is my boy's cousin."
Your eyes are glassy.
Can you not do that?
What the fuck, dude? Are you Nate Robinson?
That's upsetting.
Oh, you really don't like that? You don't like to be referenced as Gary's cousin?
No.
No, I'd be ashamed to be Gary's cousin.
No. We have a strong enough
relationship where you don't have to introduce, you don't have to hand me off as somebody else's friend.
People ask me about you. You know what I say? We grew up together. When I hear you say, you know what you say? Oh, he's my boy.
Oh, that's my boy family.
My boy.
I'm babysitting. He's a long neck, gorgeous Dominican, oversized man. And he didn't start that way. But I raised him, and I nurtured him, and I watered that friendship, and it blossomed. I imagine I took credit for his, genetic inclinations. But I'll dive into it further. I did find it funny that he, apparently okay. There's too many details. At least he's not my brother who tells me, about a newborn by sending me a starter version of the New Testament. I'm texting him like, bro, did you just parcel me the word of the Lord? Charlie's really about it. And I'm not about it. You know what I'm saying? I've always known I'm God-fearing. There's something about me that, like, even as a kid, I'd swear to God, I'd be like, I better be right. Some part of me is like very about. So I'm God-fearing, but I'm just not like, I haven't put all my chips on. You can't call him black or red, right? He is so aggressive though that it's like he can't just be like Christian. He has to be like, dude, like Islam's fake. Like it can't just be, it's a lot at once. I'm gonna actually, I just looked at my note. I'm gonna backtrack and say something about Colombia that I didn't want to talk about. It's not comfortable. I didn't want to talk about it. It's not comfortable. But people go to Colombia for a certain kind of service sometimes, and it's not even like drugs and stuff. It's not even product. Service. And let me tell you something. If you have a problem, like if that's one of your vices, sex work, don't go to Colombia. Don't go to Medellin because even the homeless women are banging. I want to go back and start a nonprofit. I mean, they'll make profit, but it's not my thing because I'm like a hygienic person. I could totally like get into the idea of leaving the country with a couple of guys and finding a couple of women that look like weather girls from Telemundo for $8 probably. But it's like, it's a hygienic thing. You know what I'm saying? I lost my virginity to a girl who had a family and ambitions and a career, and she gave me chlamydia. So what the fuck is a sex worker going to give me? I've also been with my woman for like 12 years now, and maybe a year in, she found out she was allergic to latex. Have you ever been prescribed Raw Dog? Because I trust the science. It's stupid, but you fuck your girl raw for 10 years. You're not going back to rubbers. You're not going back. So and you're not fucking one of these a la carte Absolutely not. So that's why it's out of my diet. I have tried a happy ending place, but I'm going to be honest. The massage was better than the hand job. So I never went back. It's not really for me. It's not really my flavor. But let me tell you how casual it is in Medellin. Because there was I'm whispering because I'm like, I don't even feel comfortable with it. There was a woman in the family of, the couple that was getting married who's known to be a sex worker, a very elite one. You know how I know she's elite? Because somebody at our table at the wedding knew her price point. My man said 300 USD. 300 USD. You know how good you have to be at your job to be priced out of your local currency? By the way, like every night, apparently they saw her at like another restaurant inside the hotel. By the third night, I'm like, who got next? No, of course not. But astonishing. She was gorgeous. And it was so normalized that I'm like, maybe they figure something out here. Because we're entering a recession. These Apple plays aren't going to succeed forever. They just reported earnings right now, and I just saw a dip that rattled me to my core. So wish me luck.
I definitely want to play more ball, and I know you guys ask me, and I'm usually saying no, but usually if I get a nice heads up, I could work.
Yeah, that's why we call you Nay for me, because.
But yeah, you guys are like, yo, ball today, and I'm like, nah, bro, I already had like my day.
You want ball on your schedule 2-3 days from now?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love that.
See, that's the thing. That's why we ball, because we see the opening and we go for it.
Totally, I understand that.
We're unable to plan ball because everything else seems more valuable. All other opportunities seem more valuable. Yeah. So that's the thing. It's the spontaneity that's helping us do it. I understand you're someone who goes by a schedule. You're in fucking production. Yeah. You probably have back shots with Kayla scheduled for 11 p.m. tonight. Jesus Christ,
my favorite.
Yeah, it's a casualty of your work life. So
yeah.
I don't blame you for it. But we are balling because we're down for the moment. You get what I'm saying? And we send you the text, and you know what we get? Nay for me.
I was like, you should put a screenshot of one of my nays for me.
Yeah, we're gonna run this episode late. So why don't you get that invitation you have with Kayla and just drag it up to midnight? Grab a naked serious.
Oh my god, that's so funny.